I said that I'd have a fridge. I told Jack Shepherd that the next time a guest comes on, I'd have a fridge full of beers.
And am I the next guest?
Yes, and it hasn't quite worked out that way.
No beers, Jack.
No
if you're
beers.
watching, no beers. He didn't come through.
No, that's it. But I'm gonna now make you that promise.
Right. Okay.
That the next guest will have beers.
Next guest is today.
Oh, whatever. Hi, it's Johnny from Isaac, and we are back in the treehouse again for another episode of Isaac Chats. And today is a special one, guys, because we are with my friend, director, and acting coach, David Crowley. David, for the people who don't know what you do, I want to take a deep dive into your career, a little bit about what you're about, your creative process, all of that kind of stuff. But first of all, just tell me a little bit about, in a nutshell, what you do.
Well, my job's a little bit of a strange one because I started life as an actor and I do less and less of that. I don't even know if I'd really call myself an actor anymore, which is, I don't really say it out loud very often, but it's been so long since I've acted just because I've not really been that interested in doing that since probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I started to think, oh, well, I'm still doing a little bit of this, but I'm also an actor. And there's just been this really, really slow transition into more of the things that I'm interested in, which is a little bit of a mixed bag. So I'm a director first and foremost in theatre, but also in wanting to move into telly and doing a lot of film and stuff. And an acting coach, so I do loads of different universities, drama schools. I've got Act Up North, so I do all that kind of stuff. And less and less acting, really.
Perfect. Well, let's start there then, because it's funny, when we were kind of preparing for the meeting, I was kind of like, I know David acts, I know David's an actor, but I mean, working with you, I know that kind of like, you're the man for directing, if you get me.
Yeah.
And obviously, when we worked together, you wasn't performing much at that time.
Yeah, I was in that transition. Yeah. And so when we did Thick as Thieves together, I actually got a job before Thick as Thieves rehearsal started.
Right.
And it was a play, and I won't say what the play is, just because, but because I shouldn't really. But there was a play, and it was going on a tour. And it was a 9-month tour, but the part wasn't very good. Right. Which is why I don't want to say what the play is. Because I went for a part that was good. Yeah. And I was like, this... I'm
going to take this.
Yeah, well, the part was really good, and it was a 9-month tour, and I'm like, oh, this will be great. And then my agent called me and said, oh, it's this part, and the part wasn't very good. Well, it was smaller.
Yeah.
But I
a lot of time in the dressing room, one of them.
Yeah. And I tell people that, there's no such thing as small parts, and there isn't. But...
Until now.
Well, the thing is I had an opportunity to direct, and then I had an opportunity to take this job, and I was so much more interested in doing Thick as Thieves. And this is before we'd even booked you or Steve, so this is like really, really early days, where I just kind of said, I was speaking to Mark Whiteley, who produced and directed it. And I said, can I direct Thick as Thieves? I'd love to do it. We started talking about it. So it was really, really early days there, and a confirmed job.
Ooh, risky.
So I was in this really, really difficult position. So I rang my friend Peter, and who was actually the casting director who cast you in it.
Peter Hunt.
Exactly, Peter, yeah. And I said, I've got this problem, what do I do? And, me and Pete have always had this really kind of close relationship as mates, but also like professionally. And he was like, just do which one you want to do more. And the answer was obvious and easy. Yeah. So I said, right, okay, I'm going to go for this. I'm going to direct this over acting. And my younger self would have predicted that would be the outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Did it take a while for that transition to kick in as well? Like, so you made that choice. But then will it continually having to make choices like that?
Yeah, it was really hard, like that transition, because I'd always been an actor in my head, and that's all I wanted to do. And then when this dilemma came, and it was a dilemma, it felt like that. I remember I was sitting upstairs in my living room, and I was going, what am I going to do? What's the right thing to do? I had to chat with Pete, and then he just made the answer really, really obvious. And I was like, right, okay. yeah, it makes sense. And then after that, everything just got a lot
It
easier.
kind of rolls, yeah, absolutely. After doing that first plummet,
and I loved it, and I just thought, oh God, I think I love this more.
You set my world on fire. Runs deeper than the ocean. Your love is higher than the sky, and it makes me feel. It makes me feel like I could fly. Makes me feel like I could fly.
how did you find that transition going from a performer to a director?
Well, I found the transition quite enjoyable, really, just because I'd worked with some really good directors and some directors that didn't really direct. And not that they weren't good directors, they just didn't direct the actors, they didn't work with the actors, they just kind of looked at the visual and the the blocking.
Yeah, spacing and all that.
Yeah, and that was fine because those directors actually had good actors in their company, and the actors will kind of toe the line and get the play over. But I found that when I first started directing, I really wanted to be an actor's director, and I really wanted to work with the actor and make it about the actor, and their experience in rehearsal was really, really important to me, that they were kind of guided by me, but not told what to do by me, and trying
free
to tell that
roaming.
line.
Yeah, you kind of like show them the way.
Yeah.
But it's like, how you get there is up to you.
Yeah, well, I try to, and I'm not saying I'm good at this, but I do try to make the actor try to make those discoveries themselves.
Yes.
I think that's what I aspire to do in the rehearsal room. I don't always get it right, but I've kind of got an idea of how I see the scene, and then I try to make the actor realise it without me telling them that that's the answer.
Yeah.
So it's about kind of asking the right questions, I suppose.
Yeah.
And kind of going, I'm a little bit unsure about this. What do you think? And then make that actor discover it. And it's awesome when that actor goes, oh, is it about this? And then I go, I don't know. Why don't you try it?
Yeah.
And then that actor kind of takes total ownership and responsibility. And they're like, I found this.
Yeah.
And then quietly inside I can go, great, I guided you
I
to
guided
that.
them. Yeah,
and that's how I saw the scene too. So I think that when you can do that as a director, you are directing the actor, but the actor is owning the role.
Yeah,
and they understand the role and everything.
And they
So-
feel that there's a part of their own discovery that's been put into that performance.
and they need that.
Yeah.
Because again, as an actor, I needed that. I couldn't be. Well, I could be directed by directors that told me how to say a line, but I could never really enjoy the process or really enjoy the show.
Yeah.
So, some nights I'd be, performing on stage, and if there was a director that told me how to say a line, literally give a line reading, I'd do as I was told because I was professional. But there was part of me that would really disconnect from, not from the role, but from the fun.
Yeah.
I'd stop having fun. I'd
Yeah,
be like,
yeah.
I'm just saying this line because I've been told to do so, and I'm a professional. But the kind of joy inside me was slightly killed because you was like, well, it's not I don't agree with this way of how you say this action, but I've got
to go with the flow.
Yeah, I'll say it because I've been told to do it. Like, I don't know. I've worked with you once before, and that was with Steve Arnold, and then I've worked with Steve in October. We did Kes, and I know how Steve works because of the experience that I had with you. So when I was reading Kes, I already had an experience of Steve and how and Steve's process and how Steve will approach the role. We spoke on the phone about certain choices that Steve was thinking about making, and Steve had to play like 20 odd characters.
Yeah, I saw
Like,
it. I saw a little video clip of a few bits.
Absolutely mad. He did such a fantastic job, but he was thinking about how he's going to play all these different roles and how they're all going to be separate from one another.
Right.
And I had an idea of how Steve might play those things, and I also had an idea about how I saw the play. And trying to make them marry together and all this kind of stuff. But when we got into the rehearsal room, it had to evolve. It had to take its own shape.
Yeah.
And then it had to be something slightly different at the end process because, no one can predict the future.
No.
And you've got to let the creative process take the lead in the rehearsal room. Because if you don't, you'll go, no, I didn't plan it like that. So don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do what we've just discovered. Let's do what I planned 3 months ago.
Yeah.
You know, in my living room.
It becomes about control instead of the performance all of a
Exactly.
sudden. And sometimes due to, you know, somebody's worries or, you know, like I've been in the room before with directors who, they have such a strong vision in their head, and I get that. But if you don't allow it to breathe, and I think that's, for me, and I think that's what you're saying, for me it's like when you see it come to life and take a different turn, they're the buzzes.
Absolutely.
Where it's like, in my head I feel like I've watched this scene 1,000 times by just reading the script.
Yeah.
But then when you look at it back, it's like, I could not have visualised or put down in words quite what happened on set there, and it's because you allowed it to breathe.
Yeah, and that's the joy of being a creative person and the joy of that process. And I think that if you're too strict with your original vision, you miss the creative process, and I think that you miss some of that joy.
It's great. You're an actor and a director. So the great thing is you see that from both sides, you know?
Yeah. And I have that experience, which I think has always helped me as a director, because I have that experience to go, I know what you're going through because I've been there myself, and I think that can help sometimes for a director, because you maybe know, like notes, for example. I was going to say a story, but I don't know if it's because it's about. Probably shouldn't. But like notes, when you give an actor notes, some actors can take notes a little bit like an attack on them.
Yeah.
Certainly if it's an actor that's not used to being given notes, you know, so if an actor's just kind of is a good actor and the directors that they've worked with are slightly hands off and just kind of let them be, and you give an actor a note. I'm a noter, you know, as you know, I kind of like I'll have pages and pages of notes, and I'm planning which notes to give at what particular time, because you can't bombard somebody with something, because that actor might start to think that they've done a bad job, which they haven't. But if I've got lots to say about an actor, say for example you, if I'm noting you, I might have 6 things to say about this performance, but there might be certain things that I'll go, no, Johnny, you'll find that later.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that yet, but I'll star it, and then I'll move that note onto the next session. But he'll find that one, so I'm confident about that. And if I give this note here, then that might influence that note.
Yeah,
anyway.
that's going to evoke him to get
But if
respond.
I read out all 6, like an actor is in a really vulnerable position when they're in notes, because they've been creative, they've been impulsive, they've been instinctive, they've been finding things, and then someone's critiquing that, and it's like that can feel like an assault. Certainly, if you're in a place where you're not quite with the character yet, you know, you're not quite united with that idea of what's going on inside that character, then that actor will feel a little bit like, oh, I've not found it yet, and now what are you going to say about that? And I've been there, and it's, you know, when the director comes and goes, so Johnny, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, yep. You know, you're ready for the kind of assault what it can feel like anyway. And I think that because I've been there, I try to really consider that.
Yeah.
And in my approach, again, it's, for me, I always really wanted clarity in something, and I'd always go with the director that would give me clarity, and there'd be a real clear way in which they were talking to me and what they wanted. But if there were ever a moment where they'd go, so David, what I want you to do is, I mean, I really like what you did, but don't do any of that. Kind of do it though, but don't. Because if you do and you don't, then you will, but you don't have to. But maybe a little bit in between, do you know what I mean? And then like you go,
okay.
what am I don't understand what that was, but I'm nodding because I'm terrified to not please
question
you.
that. Yeah.
And then you play it the same way and they go, yeah, not quite what I had in mind.
It's getting there.
Yeah, but yeah.
You know what the worst
And then move
note
on.
in the world is? Let's go again and just let's try something different.
Yeah.
I don't
And then-
like that, me. I must be honest, because I
and then
like
not give you-
direction.
Yeah, and
Like-
what different to what? Like, give me something to go off. Let's try it different. Why don't you play it really angry? Is okay. That
Fine.
gives me a bit of direction.
Motivation,
I can
yeah.
have some motivation to play something. Just do something different. Just try it.
Yeah. Or
Try
sometimes they're going to go, we're going to go again. And it's like, all right. Is there a reason?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What were wrong with that? Like,
Yeah.
again, I love the part of the note-taking process. I really do, because it's that whole thing that, again, instantly you're getting other people's opinions, views from outside. I never thought of that. You're right there. If not, it's good time to have a discussion about something. And through that discussion, you realise more things. And sometimes you convince yourself. You know, so it's that whole thing. If you maybe come in with a note, and it'll be like, well, it's funny because I went with it because of this way. You and me will talk for 2 minutes. And it's not about you're right, I'm wrong. Either way, through the conversation, we will come to an understanding.
You work together. The actor and the director has to work together to produce something, because ultimately the actor's got to do the job, and you know, and if that's got to be the other way, the director shouldn't be directing, they should be acting. So it's like, you know, ultimately as an actor you've got to do the job, and I've got to work with you in order to get that performance out of you, not me. So it's got to be a discussion. It's got to be an agreement of the director's creative vision, but the actor's creative vision, and how that kind of merges together and how that fuses. And I think that, you know, when you can get that working really, really well, then you get the best out of your actor. But if I've got a different idea and you tell me why you've made that choice, if you're not directing with an ego, then often that can be, you know, it's like, that's a better idea than mine. Go with it. But some people might feel like that's like, oh, but then that looks like I'm not the director, like in charge. It's like, well, no, to be in charge is actually just bullshit anyway.
That's
like,
what I mean. It's not. We're
all working for the piece, not for each other. So if you're trying to work for your ego, or I'm trying to work for my ego, then we're putting the pieces to one side, and we're losing the point of why the hell we're doing this. It's like the whole point of doing what we do is for the story and to tell the story. And we're both servants to the story.
And we have to create the best environment for that story to breathe.
So then the audience can enjoy the story, not enjoy us telling the story.
Exactly.
I mean? It's like, it's a little bit kind of wanky, isn't it? It's a bit like...
absolutely.
I don't know if we can swear.
No, you can swear, don't worry about it. We're all right.
It is wanky then, when it's just like an actor just like serving themselves, or a director serving themselves. It's like, no, shut up. Serve the piece, like serve the story. Because that's what the audience are there to see. They're there to see to see the story, to be told the story clearly and coherently, and so they can invest in it. The way how we assess people's ability at this point in time is flawed. The audition process doesn't work. It's a flawed thing. I totally believe that the way how we are finding talent at the moment doesn't work.
There's better ways.
But there is better ways, but no one knows what that way is, and that's the problem. It's like, I really feel like that isn't the way to assess an actor, because they're under lots of stress, lots of anxiety. You know, the nature of the way how how actors work is they have to do that bar job, or they have to do this and they have to do that, and then they phone in sick to come, and they put everything on this one meeting. And you know, if it's not a theatre gig, it's 5 minutes long, if you're lucky. You know, you get 2 reads, you're in, you're out, and you're gone. And it's that kind of environment that they have to work in is so hyper stressed, and they walk in and they're trying to be dead relaxed and confident, and you can see like this strain in their eyes, and they're just really, really
you're not
on
getting
edge.
the best out of them. Absolutely not. No.
How on earth are you supposed to be free, focused, creative, impulsive, instinctive? How can you get all those values in that little window of time when you're under so much stress? Now the easy thing is to say is, don't be stressed, just be relaxed. You know, you'll get a friendly casting director and a friendly director, and they'll smile at you because they want you to do well. But that still doesn't take away the fact that it's terrifying sitting in that seat. And
it's what you said, it's how much rides on it.
It's so much.
I mean, I can speak personally, and this is not that long ago. I'm going down to London for auditions that I cannot afford to get to. You know? It's, can you be down here?
The train journeys are an
don't get me started.
Extortionate. And again, the nature of the beast, and I don't know why, I wish I did, but the nature of the beast is they'll know all the cast lists months in advance. They'll know everything months in advance. And then for some reason the actor only finds out the day before. Get down to London, you know, down to London for this audition. And I get it, casting directors are busy. They've got loads of things and different fingers in different pies. And they know that the actors will come to the auditions, and they let them know as soon as possible. But for some reason, how it trickles down. My partner works in TV.
Right, okay.
She does makeup, but she'll find out if a drama's running like months in advance. There's this thing in Manchester, they're shooting in October, you know, it's July, but the actor will find out that they've got the casting the day before. And you kind of go, they find out so little in advance that they have to go and spend 200 quid on a train to get down there to come for 5 minutes to shoot back up again.
And like you say, and sometimes it might be first audition in 6 months.
Yeah.
Or it might be the third one that month, which means it's cost you 600 quid
Exactly.
for less than 15 minutes in a room.
Exactly, and it's awful because, you know, if they could know maybe 2 weeks in advance, they might be able to get a cheap ticket.
Yeah.
Or say to their mate, can I stay at your house the night before, so I'll travel at like 9 o'clock at night where the tickets are like 15, 20 quid.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You know,
Get on first class, why not? Bump it up.
exactly.
Bump it up instead of just being like that with your feet up.
I know.
Horrible.
So I really do, you know, I really do feel for actors because I think that the audition process is flawed, but it's the only way that we do it in the business. So it's the harsh reality that you have to say to an actor. It's like, that's the way how it is, and it sucks.
Yeah. How do you stand on self-tapes?
Oh, I love them. I think
Do
I think they're a great idea
Yeah.
for actors. There's
Yeah, there's advantages and disadvantages.
there really is, yeah.
Uh.
But the pros are you are much more likely to get a better performance out of your actor because they're a little bit more free, they're a little bit more focused, and they can do it in the comfort of their own space, their own creative space. So you're much more likely to get a good performance out of them. The cons is they'll take 6,000 takes before they do it. And there's a few little tips, I think, to any actors that might be picking up on this. And what I would always suggest is do 5 or 6, but don't watch any of them back.
Yeah.
So 5 or 6 runs. So da-da-da-da-da. All right, okay, let's go again. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, let's go again. And just, you know, trying it different ways. And the scene partner that reading in, just kind of maybe if they want to help out and kind of go, that was a really good one, but maybe do this. And then watch them back, pick one and send it off.
Yeah, and done and dusted.
Done and dusted. Because what can happen is if we did a take now and then I ran to the camera and had a look back and I was like, oh, I really like my start bit. And then I did it again and then I looked back and I was like, and I really like my end bit. Yeah. So then the third take, I'll do a little bit of my start bit and a little bit of my end bit. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to recreate the past. And then your subsequent takes, you achieve what you wanted to do in the scene, but everything's a bit more mechanical.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm trying to do that thing that I did with my eye on the start bit, but
Instead
then
of
doing this bit that I liked at the end.
Instead of doing the role, it's almost like, you're starting to do a caricature of yourself doing a performance.
You're doing the past you again.
Yeah.
Rather than just being present and being like engaged in the scene and just kind of going, no, I'm just going to feel the scene and be impulsive in the moment and instinctive, and then whatever happens. And if that really great thing from take one happens again, that's because it's instinctive rather than it's like manufactured. So I think that that's always a really good thing for actors, that just, you know, do 5, 6, 10 if they want to, but don't look at them until you watch them back and then
pick that best one.
Pick the best one. Or if you've got an agent that watches them, and some do and some don't.
Yeah, some like, don't waste my time.
Some do and some don't, and the really good ones do. You know, they'll be the ones that kind of watch it back and kind of go like, you know, then go, here's 2. Which one do you think? And then your agent, you know, it's a business partnership with your agent,
job,
and they're busy. But you know, if it's a juicy part and the scene's only a minute and a half, it's only going to take them 3 minutes to watch 2, and they'll go, I like you second, and they'll fire that one off. Yeah. And data, you know, it costs us bugger all these days, so we can send those 2 files over.
I know, you're done and dusted.
VHS, first class in post, you know, like put it on VHS. It's, you know, we can send stuff so much easier these days. So, you know, I say to actors, sometimes when actors kind of come in and they go, I walked into the audition room and there was loads of people that were completely different from me, and I just wondered why I was brought in. It's like, well, no one will ever bring you in for a pity audition. You know what I mean?
No, that's
it's
it.
Like, oh, should I bring Johnny in because he's not auditioned for 6 months?
Yeah.
You know, he's not going to get the job.
They don't care.
But, it's like, but he'll feel really good about himself if he just comes in for an audition. It's like, it doesn't happen.
Unfortunately,
like that.
not. Nobody's here to kind of, come on, chap.
Exactly.
You can do this.
If you're in that room, you're in there for a reason, and you've got to take ownership of that. So you never want to cancel yourself out in an audition room, and you're sitting in that audition room and you're looking around and going, well, they're prettier than me, and they're this than me, and they've got bigger muscles than me, they're taller than me, they're handsome. And, you know,
you're working against yourself straight away.
Well, you might as well just go home. Yeah. Like, what's the point? Like, you've got to look at those people and go, they're going to bring something to the role, and I'm going to bring something different to the role.
That's it. Yeah.
And there was one time back in the acting days, there was an actor that I'd seen on telly, and he was dead good. I really respected him. I thought, oh, he's a really good actor. And I was sat there and I felt really insignificant, and, you know, like, oh, I've not been on telly yet. And this was like, I've not even had a telly job. I was just doing theatre. I was like, he's not telly, and this was for telly, and oh my God, he's brilliant. Oh my God, I'm so rubbish. And, you know, you're cancelling yourself out. And I had to have a bit of a word with myself and go, no, like, you know, I'm going to try and go in there and give that casting director a headache because they're going to want to put him in. But I'm going to go, no, look at me.
I'm going to ruffle it all up.
Look at me, ruffle the feathers, and look at me. And you know, I'm going to go make you sit there and go, I mean, he's he's the one that's going to be, like, people are going to want to watch. But this kid,
you know, I like this guy.
Yeah. And what should we do? And so, you know, if you're ever in a casting room and you're looking around and you see some brilliant people or some people that you think might be better suited to the role or whatever, just go, I'm going to give that casting director a headache.
I teach acting for screen to quite young groups. I'd probably say, I mean, I do a really young class, but majority of them are about 14 to 16, 17.
Nice.
And they're going for a lot of jobs, they're going for a lot of auditions. And the one thing that I teach them is I say, like, when you're outside a room and there's all these other kids and all young adults waiting to go in next and you're playing all these things against, you've got to remember that every single meeting is exactly the same apart from one element, and it's you.
Absolutely. Great
you
advice.
are the only unique thing about every different meeting. We're reading the same lines, we're talking about the same piece, talking about the same film, whatever it might be. The only thing that's different is you. And once you grasp hold of that and realise the only way I'm going to make this meeting stand out is by absorbing that, by going, this is all about me. And I heard a great piece of advice off of a director, Paul Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
He did a workshop a long time ago for an old company I used to work for, and it were great. He said, if you're in an audition room, he said, you need to know that every person that walks through that door, we want to be the part, because well, that's what we're looking for. But actors going, I'm not going to get this. They don't like me. But they've asked you to be there.
Absolutely, and you've got to take ownership of that, because there is you really are rooting for the actor, and you know, I think actors hear it, and it kind of goes in one ear and out the other when they go into an audition. So, in a workshop, you'll tell them that, and they'll go, right, yeah, okay, brilliant, yeah, and then they'll go into an audition and they forget it straight away, and that's the main thing that you've got to think about. Like, everybody wants you to do well in that room, and nobody has brought you in, like I said before, for pity. No one's brought you in to make you feel good. They've brought you in because they think you're good enough to do this role. So it's like, so
you've got to show them that you can.
Show us.
Show them that you can.
And I think that's great advice, certainly to tell to young people. You know, you are the person that makes the whole experience different.
I suppose I want to kind of finish this conversation talking a little bit about your transference to doing a bit of screen directing. I mean, last time we saw each other properly, I mean, last time we worked together, how long ago right now?
3 years. Oh, it wasn't 2014, was it, or something? It might have been.
Yeah.
It was like it was.
All right, 5 years. Woo.
Probably, maybe longer.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was longer than 5 years.
But that's it. Like the last time I mean, I wasn't aware that you did much screen, or I didn't know whether you did. But obviously, I looked on your website. I think it's absolutely fantastic. You can check out a link below. I will put it here.
Oh, great! Thank you.
Just like that. Ta-da! But yeah, looking through your website and seeing now, you know, everything we've been discussing today about your training, your actor and performance skills, and your directional skills, and you've brought all that together. Which is really cool. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've always loved screen and acting for screen. I mean, I've trained people in acting for screen for years, so it's always been, although I've been a theatre director predominantly, I've always wanted to be a screen director, and it's always been really challenging because it's, you know, you've got to get the kit, you've got to get this, you've got to get that, in order to, you've got to get a crew and all sorts of stuff, and that's just taken time to do, really. But in more recent years, I've been doing a lot more of it. So I'm making short films. I've just finished a film called Aiysha.
Yes,
Which,
I saw the trailer.
oh yeah,
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 looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. It was great, and amazing crew on that. It was only a small crew. There's 7 of us, kind of key crew. Like there was people that came in on other days. It was a 6-day shoot.
Right, okay.
And there was people that kind of dropped in, but there was like a core 7 that crewed it all. Yeah, fantastic DP called Sam Grant who sorted it out. He was brilliant. Yeah, it went really well. Went really well, and the shots looked really, really lovely. And we got it all done in 6 days, which was quite an achievement, really, because the short isn't that short.
How long is it?
30 minutes.
30
with a
minutes,
massive
wow.
cut. Like, I had to cut loads out.
Really?
Yeah, I wrote it, and I realised that I overwrote a little bit, and so I could chop stuff out.
That's what's great, again, and you discover that in theatre, you discover that in rehearsals.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's one of your own written pieces, this is overwritten. This is too much, and you start editing highly. A lot of the time in TV, you don't realise that till you're in the edit.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're on set, it's working at such a fast pace, and then kind of like you look back and you watch it on a screen after you've lived in it for, like you say, 6 days. It's just like, a bit off the mark there. We need to start cutting that down.
My tendency is to overwrite, so I do write a lot of things, and I'm just writing my next film at the moment, and I've tried to kind of condense that as 5 pages. I really wanted to kind of like reduce language as much as possible, and I think it's just because of my theatre background as a writer, like the amount of plays that I've written, the amount of plays that I've read, and that kind of relationship I've got to text. I really love it. So I think that kind of bleeds into my writing in screen. So I really try to kind of strip it all back now. And yeah, so the next shot I've written is much shorter and really stripped back on the dialogue, and I'm going to go a little bit kind of. I'm going totally different to Aiysha.
I want to talk a little bit about. So you train a lot of actors now.
Yeah.
So am I right in thinking you train quite a lot of the Hollyoaks lot?
Yeah, I do.
Is that right?
Yeah,
excellent.
I do. Yeah,
Fantastic.
I'm the on-set acting coach there.
How are you finding that?
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so good, and yeah, I mean, so rewarding as well when you get really, really good results out of actors, because it's really tricky for anybody working in telly, and you know more than anybody, you know how quick TV moves. And Hollyoaks is single cam, so single camera, one camera, and they shoot 5 episodes a week, single camera stuff, which means that it's like pacey things, and the actors, the majority of the actors are young actors, you know, that come into it. You know, some of them are coming into it 16, 17 years old. I think, what did I know at 16, 17? You know, not, you know, about certain life things. Not a lot from my own perspective.
Things to draw from, you know, for your characters.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And these young people in particular, I mean, if you think about a Hollyoaks storyline, well, these 16, 17-year-olds, they've been pregnant, they've killed 3 people, they've done this, they've done, you know what I mean? They've lived. They've lived a life, you know, a very colourful life. You get to 25 on the show, you know, 7 years on the show or something, and you've literally gone through, you know, the most barbaric of experiences. You wonder they've not got PTSD at the end. You know? It's incredible, and they have to connect and commit to that, and they're judged by that, by, you know, millions of people watching that show. I think that's not good. Well, or I think that's excellent. You know, whichever the side of the fence that you're on. But it's incredibly challenging what they've got to do, and my job is to just spend some time with them. And just to let them have some rehearsal, because some people might not know that rehearsal on telly is like, it's over before it's begun.
Yeah.
It's a line read, it's a block out, and then it's maybe another rehearsal, depends on if they've got time, and, you know, and then it's let's go for a take. So if you've got a really big, heavy emotional scene, how can you deliver that? You know, and that's where I come in. So we just spend some time, and we look at the text, and we analyse the text, and we discuss it, and we rehearse it, and I give that actor just a little bit of space, just to understand a little bit, and just a pause for thought to kind of go, oh, and you've got that relationship with them, and that might have a nice little. And then they go, oh, that's interesting, because, and then they can just think a little bit deeply about the scene. So then when they go for that quick pace, they can just have some space to be able to
prepped, to
feel and connect and commit to the text, and you know, it's awesome because they're really, really nice people, and they're just so lovely to work with. They're just ace.
Excellent. That's
Yeah.
really cool. So, do you spend some time on set with them as well?
Some of them.
Yeah.
So it depends. It depends on loads of different things. So my schedule's quite full, and their schedule's even more full.
Yeah.
So it depends on if those two work together. If not, I'll meet them beforehand. So it could be 2 days beforehand, day beforehand, even the morning beforehand. Depends on how it works. And it also depends on the actor. So, you know, some actors would just prefer to have me just privately, just in a little session. We just go on set somewhere else and we just discuss and talk. And some don't. So then I'll be on set, and then I might just be kind of just talking them through some of the stuff that we've prepped. But they're on really, really big scenes. So they're on the scenes that are just like quite intense.
Yeah. The atmosphere on set.
Yeah.
You can hear a pin drop.
Absolutely. Or you should be able to.
Well, yeah.
And
no,
that's what
true.
I tell them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
That's what I tell them,
yeah.
because, you know, it's that thing of, you know, the difficulty for an actor on telly is you have to be brilliant when everybody else is ready, and not a moment before or a moment after.
Yeah.
If you give an Oscar-winning performance in your Winnebago, or, you know, in your dressing room, no one gives a
You've
toss.
knackered it, yeah.
No one gives a toss because no one saw it. It's like when everybody else is ready in the space, it's like, now be brilliant. Stand by and action. Be brilliant.
Yeah. And
It's
then
like, cut.
You want brilliant that time.
Yeah.
Can you be brilliant this time?
Yeah, now we're ready,
Let's go again.
And it's like, if you're in the zone at 10 o'clock in the morning, but your scene doesn't kick off till 11, and you've lost it.
It can really stir it up. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like, then that's it. You, it's game over. So you've really got to think about how you can prepare yourself to be brilliant for when everyone's ready for you.
Yeah.
And that's again, focus. And it's always the case that sometimes you're having a bit of a chat with somebody and you're like, oh, and you never guess what he did. We're ready for you. What?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God, I've got to get my head into the scene.
Absolutely.
So it's about finding that right preparation.
David, it's been fantastic. It's been lovely talking.
Do you know what? It's been awesome, and thank you for having me. And
Anytime.
it's so good to see you. I've missed you.
I missed you,
It's
lad.
true.
We need to do something. We need to do something. I've said before, like, I think about a year ago we were just chatting over emails, and I said it'd be great to collab on something.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely great.
there is a discussion for that.
Ooh.
There's a discussion for that off camera.
Oh, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Well, for now, David, again, it's just been great. I'm going to keep following your work. Obviously, people will get a taste of it. I'll see if I can get some of your stuff off your website, and we'll cut it in with the interview.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, I'll send it over.
Yeah, just to kind of
Yeah.
like give everybody a taste.
Yeah.
And obviously, we'll put all the links at the bottom. But yeah, this is just a little bit of look into you and your creative process, and I think it's been very, very inspiring. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Cheers, buddy.
You're a diamond. And that's it for another episode of Isaac Chats. As usual, guys, if you want to see any more episodes just like this one, head over to www.IsaacWho.com. I'm sure we'll see you there. Bye bye. I should have done it.